Mr. Slatiner. Hacktiv8 team, especially for those within the last 3 months with us, hiring partners, FTDS student, both offline and remote, and all of the other participants that I can mention one by one. Thank you for the opportunity and the time that has been given to our group. All right. In this section, I would like to present our final project group called TESIA S class. What is TESIA? I will explain it later. Next. Our group consists of Mrs. Sari, and then Mr. Rashad, Miss Syakirah, Mr. Rahman, Miss Pratiwi, Mr. Jasper, and myself. Next. Some short-term investors are tend to play with fears and desires to either buy or sell in the stock market itself. Before we go deeper, take a look at this quote from a publication written by Cruz and Gomez in 2013 that said, financial specialists make decisions based on rumors, wagering on the validity of the media that unveil them. Indeed, even though knowing that the information isn't continuously dependable. However, this trend is growing with the use of online social media networks such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or even YouTube. Therefore, social media sentiment today has bigger impact toward market nowadays. Next. The banking sector is a face of a country's economy, which also attract the most attention. If this sector is doing well, it is more likely that the condition of the capital market will automatically improve in the future. The state-owned bank or the bank, all right, the state-owned bank or the bank where the greatest shareholders is the government currently dominates the Indonesian banking sector. Based on the news from CNBC in 2020, 4 state-owned banks won the trust of 30 million placing funds from the government due to the strengthening of the financial sector, which are to PT Bank Mandiri or BMRI, PT Bank Rakyat Indonesia, BRI, PT Bank Negara Indonesia, BNI, and PT Bank Tabungan Negara, Bank BBCN. Next. On the off chance, the question is more like which stock do we actually need to purchase? Is often to appear. To help answering this question, we create the model, which is TESIA S class, which stands for Twitter engagement for stock price analysis, sentiment classification, to make it less demanding to decide whether the stock to be acquired according to time series prediction and Twitter sentiment classification. Next. This is we gather sentiment of 4 banks from social media platform, namely Twitter. Next. In this graph, we could see the changing of stock price of 4 banks, which the data set are taken from Yahoo Finance, starting from early 2017 until December 2022. What I can tell from the graph is that the stock price movement decreased for all the banks in March 2020 due to reduction of national transaction, which we also know caused by COVID-19 at that time. We could also see that BNI, BRI, Mandiri stock movement are increased, except for BTN. And then the last one I can tell is BNI and Mandiri are having higher stock price than BTN and BRI. Next. This is the moving average. The moving average is a simple technical analysis tool that smooths out price data. We see within the graph that the famous values to degree the moving average are 10 and 20 days, since we still capture pattern within the information without any commotion. Next. This is the daily return average that shows the difference between open price and close price of 4 stand-owned banks. Next. While this is the roadmap of predict with sentiment and stock prices. Firstly, for NLP or natural language processing, we collecting tweet and then labeling the tweet itself, and then we go to pre-processing step. And the last step is building sentiment analysis. Secondly, for the stock prediction, we collecting the stock price, which we took from Yahoo Finance in this case, and then we go to preprocessing, building LSTM, stand for long short-term memory, combined with GRU, gated recurrent unit method. After we've done with both NLP and stock prediction, we make the model deployment for predicting tweet sentiment and stock prices. Next. Here is the sample of tweet sentiment result. And then next. Well, this is the plot of for state-owned banks, namely BRI, BNI, BCN, and MRI. The purple line is describing the original close price. Red line is describing trend predicted price, and the green line is test predicted price. We could see while BRI, BNI, and BCN having not much of a gaps between original close price, trend, and test predicted, MRI are having relatively high gaps between it predicted and original close price. I mean, test predicted and original close price. And then next. This is the advantages of our model. Our NLP model uses manual labeling for training dataset with the intention that the model can capture better the context of stock sentiment in the tweets. And then the time series model generally predicts stock prices with low errors, shown by the previous graph. And then next, we go to drawbacks. Our NLP model uses limited amount of dataset, more or less 1,000 tweets, due to limited time for labeling activity. And then model improvement are still needed. And then time series model is still not good to predict the stock price of MRI. And then next, for the constraint, the tweet use Indonesian language that contain many slang words, and prediction is limited to only for stocks in banking sector. All right, next. While the future improvement, we ought to add more stocks and more tweet dataset for NLP. And then for the prediction, it could be better if we could insert the probability for stock price. The next slide will be explained by Mr. Rashad. Could you please open the video? Please continue, Mr. Rashad.
Okay, so now we are going to demonstrate how user will use TESIA. From the start, we are presented with two information, which is today's tweet and the stock price history. In this demo app, we can choose 4 different stocks. Let's say we choose, I'm sorry, can we play the video again and then just pause at the end? Okay, thank you. Okay, let's say we choose BBRI. The tweet and price history will change accordingly. And when we predict the sentiment, this pie chart will appear. We can see that 90% of the prediction shown positive tweets. But for a more insight for our user, we could also predict tomorrow's closing price, which is shown with a candlestick chart on the right side. We can see the recent prices and the prediction. It is not really shown in here, but the prediction is labeled with blue dot at the right hand side of the candlestick chart. You can see here the prediction is about 9,800 rupiah. We also provide you with a QR code if you want to try the app yourself. Next. Okay, that's all from us today. Thank you for your attention. If there's any question, feel free to ask.